This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Welcome back, everyone. I've said this before, but I'm going to say it in a very deeper way right now, and this applies to everyone. Have you been in a relationship that didn't work out and you're really not 100% sure why? You probably need to heal from something. Are you not living the life you want to live? You don't have the job that you believe you deserve. Maybe you need to heal from something. Does things feel off? You're just not feeling what you were destined to do in this life. Maybe you need to heal from something. We're going to talk about that today. And she helps people heal and transform their lives all the time as a certified hypnotic coach, board certified and licensed massage therapist. She's a Reiki master and teacher and so much more. And again, I'm going to say this applies to everyone today. Kathy Bjerke joins us on the program. How are you doing today?
I'm really good. Thanks. Steve, how are you today?
Very well, very well. And you don't have to agree with what I just said, but I wonder how you feel about that. And I will say, I said, maybe you need to heal from something if things aren't going in the direction you intended them to. What are your thoughts?
I think you're right on. I think all of us are here in this experience to learn things. And along the way, there is healing that needs to be done in order to learn whatever lessons we are supposed to be learning when we get here. And they show up in many different ways. They show up, these lessons can be maybe an emotion that you need to master. And in my life, it's been fear. How do I learn to live in peace when there's chaos all around me? One of my big life lessons was learning how to be around fear. It could be that we need to move through a limiting belief. I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. I don't deserve. And sometimes it's physical issues. And yes, we all have things to heal from. But really, that healing is growth and expansion and learning from the lessons that we are here to learn.
I agree with everything you just said. And I'm not saying that just because we're here together. But I ask this question, and I ponder it many times. Why do we have to learn something? Why can't life just be easy? Why does there have to be a lesson?
That's the whole point of being human. I say to my clients, if we didn't have to learn and master emotions, we would be a fly or a bullfrog right now. They don't need to learn patience. They don't need to learn forgiveness, right?
All right,
So,
you got me. Yeah.
So the human experience truly is here to learn and master emotions.
And I agree with you that the universe wants, whatever the universe is, define it how you want. It's here to support us. We're not here to be miserable, but we need to do our part to make things work. And by the way, you mentioned fear as one of your challenges and that feeling of not being good enough, worthy enough. It's my understanding that we all have that. Every one of us, some shape and form. I admit, yes, daily basis. It always comes up. A little piece here, a little bit bigger here. You never know, when it's going to present. You could be, at the gym. All of a sudden, you have a thought. Well, why are they treating me that way? And then a quick thought comes in. Oh, because I'm not worthy enough. And then you got to stop that thought. Yeah, it's a life journey with all of this, isn't it?
It really is. And you'll also notice that if you have a repeating pattern, like you're in the same type of relationship every time, or if, for me, when I was younger, I was always getting bullied. So those patterns are another clue that there is something that you need to learn from that situation. So think of being bullied. I've never met a person who hasn't been bullied in some way, shape, or form in their life, right?
Same. And very
It's
impactful in
just
my
the way it
childhood.
is.
I gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me reframe this a little bit and try to explain how this could be something beneficial for you, because most people think being bullied is not anything good at all. So generally, every situation, every challenge, every struggle, every difficulty we have is not life being terrible to us. It's life giving us an opportunity to grow and
Mm,
expand and to learn something. And generally, we are paired with another soul, another person to learn lessons together. And they're generally the opposite lessons. So, in the case of being bullied, if I'm the one being bullied, the opportunity for me is to learn how to stand up for myself.
mm,
The lesson for the person who's inflicting the harm is being told to stand down, step back, step away. Do you see? They're opposite lessons, but we're assisting each other. So I do truly believe that the universe is always working in my favor. It's always giving me these opportunities to grow, to expand, and to become a better version of myself. And we wouldn't do that if life was easy, right?
mm.
We have to work, we have to experience things. And, we can tell, I have two children, so I could tell my children, oh, don't do this because, say, don't touch that burner because it's hot. And when it's hot, you're going to hurt yourself. And if that's not going to feel good, how much are they going to learn from just me telling them that?
Mm-hmm.
But when they touch that burner, then they know what hot is. And then they know, oh, I'm not going to touch this because it's hot. And I've just experienced that. So they're really going to learn that lesson.
I'm
You
kind of
see what I'm
laughing.
saying?
I'm laughing inside because I gotcha. And every parent has said that to their child.
Oh, yeah.
And if you look at, you can't see it here, right? There's a tiny little scar. It's almost not even detectable, but that's from when I touched the stove with my green army man and we melted and it dripped on my finger.
Yeah.
Then there was the time where I almost set the kitchen on fire. I had to wake mom up. Yeah, it wasn't nothing major, but it put something in the garbage from the stove because I was, well, this is really cool. So yes, and that was a lesson hard learned and obviously never repeated. But yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes we got to learn those lessons ourselves. And even that's a lesson for parents to allow your child to learn
Hmm.
lessons. Some of us, my mom was very overprotective too, you know,
Hmm.
but she was sleeping when I burned myself on the army man. But you got to give, some latitude to let our kids figure things out on their own. But yeah. Mm.
Especially when they're at home, when we can just kind of encourage them and pick them back up and help them feel better about learning things. It's much more difficult if you don't let them make those choices and send them off to school and then you're not there. So if that's the first time they have to make a decision and fall flat on their face, you're not there to be able to support and encourage them the way you could have had they been at home.
I'm intrigued about what you said, how people come together to learn opposite lessons. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Totally on board for that. And I do believe that people meet for a reason. It's not just a random, hey, you're hot. Okay, let's get together. There's a
Mm-hmm.
reason there. Um, and I try to dissect that. What's going on there? And is it true that the lesson changes as life goes on? Let's say a couple's together, I don't know, 15 years, whatever. The lesson in the beginning might be different than the lesson midway through and maybe at the end of the relationship, right?
Right.
Hmm.
And we make soul contracts before we come into this lifetime, whether people are aware of it or not.
I'm aware of it, but I'm not aware of it. My attorney wasn't present during the signing of this said contract. Yes, and this is getting a little woo for some, but I
Yes,
believe exactly what you said. We don't just show up. There is a plan, a mission.
right. So there are souls that we agree to work with, and vice versa, that agree to work with us in order for us to learn these lessons. So there are souls that will reincarnate with us lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And those are the ones we call our soul family. Those are typically people who are in your family, your friends, perhaps a partner or a spouse, maybe coworkers. And they are here specifically to help move us forward. And I'll just use my experience again. I chose my parents in order for them to help me learn the hard lessons of fear. And my mother, especially, was integral in that because I took on an immense amount of fear from her when she was pregnant with me. So, knowing that my life lesson involved fear, she was the one that instilled that in me. And I've had conversations with her. She When she was 8 months pregnant with me, I had two older brothers and an older sister. And there was a very devastating tornado that blew through the town that I lived in. And she was waiting for my older sister to come home from school. And she had two younger siblings that were in high school, and that's where the tornado blew through. And thank goodness there was not social media at that time because it would have dramatically increased the trauma from that incident because the tornado came through when the kids were getting on the school buses and it knocked over school buses. And I remember my uncle, who was at the high school, watching a couple of his friends die that day. It was extremely devastating. So, in that moment, my mother took on a lot of fear and I absorbed it from her. But that was what we were supposed to do. That's how we were assisting each other. I
Wow.
needed to have that fear in order to learn that. So I was a very anxious child without knowing what anxiety was. You know, I'm I'm almost 60. So that many years ago, we were not diagnosing anxiety in the way that we are now. But I had all of those symptoms and just didn't know it. And it wasn't anything bad. It was what was supposed to happen in order to move me forward, kind of just set me up to learn those lessons and learn what I was supposed to learn with fear and how
Wow.
to live through it.
Thank you for sharing that. And it makes all of us think, in our lives. My mom was, from memory, she passed about 6 years ago, quite anxious, overprotective, and I got, a lot of that as well. Never thought I would never, if you asked me, you're an anxious person. I'm like, no. But when I think back, I was like, yeah, you were, you know,
Mhm.
worried about the future. What could happen? What if, and it could be anything. It could be you're at your job and maybe your boss, you think your boss is not happy. And then, oh my gosh, what happens if,
Mhm.
yeah, and also I overprotected my kids to some extent. Let that all go a long time ago. Um, I find it interesting what you said your mom went through, especially when she was pregnant. Do you believe in
Mhm.
past life regression?
Yes.
Me too. So I had my first one about a month ago.
Good.
And one of the questions and I've had hypnotherapy before, love it, it's fantastic. Talk to my friend Kathy. Uh, as we regressed back in that session, uh, and through my childhood, which I've been there through, I saw all of that in other hypnotherapy sessions. But now we got to the point where I'm not born yet. And
Mhm.
the question was, what was your mother feeling when she was pregnant? And at first, I'm thinking, well, what would she be thinking? And then
Mhm.
it started hitting me. And she was going through a lot, challenges with the relationship, as I understand, with my father. And what came up for me is she was hoping that everything was going to be okay.
Mm.
But here's the aha moment. I was feeling it. It wasn't just a thought. Well, of course, you're thinking about a woman giving birth. What did she think? I hope it all works out okay. Yeah, okay, you can think that. I was feeling it. Like she was thinking life, pregnancy. She was pregnant with two, my twin sister, and the relationship with my father. But my point here is, and I'm a skeptic, I felt it. Okay. And then we went to a past life and I felt all of that. That's for another conversation. Question for you right here. Do we, before we're born, pick the people in our lives, our parents, our relationships? Has that already been predetermined?
Yes, it has.
Hmm.
And believe it or not, we do pick them. But this is where we have to reframe the situation, especially if you are in a childhood or a home that is not loving, that is very challenging, maybe people that have had trauma and abuse, and you're going to look at me and say that I'm crazy. There is no way that I chose this, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there are specific lessons. I'm going to go back to this lessons that we need to learn. And that's just how life is played out in order for you to learn that particular lesson.
Mm.
And I had a client not very long ago that discovered that very thing. I had regressed her again. I do all my regressions back with people in soul form before they have entered this lifetime. So you're kind of in between.
Wow.
So it's not in a past life and you're not yet in this life. I just have this little sweet spot because that's where infinite intelligence is. And when you are back in soul form, you have the remembrance. And that's where you get the information of why did I come into this lifetime? What lessons do I need to learn? And I always specifically ask, did you choose your parents?
Wow.
Every single time, the answer is yes. And that's where a lot of healing can take place when you recognize that unconsciously you are in control. And that's why I truly believe that everything that I'm going through is in order for me to grow and expand. It doesn't mean life is easy at all.
Mm.
But there's something in the situation that you are put in as a young child, there
Mm.
is something that you need to learn from that. And maybe it's confidence, and maybe it's independence, and maybe you have to step up and take care of your parents. I don't know what it is, but it is always, like I said, that opposite lesson.
Mm.
You're supposed to be doing something, standing up, taking charge, and the other one is supposed to be learning something,
Yeah.
standing down, submitting, letting go of control, whatever it is, right? Does that make sense?
Crystal clear. And it's not easy to accept and fully understand that because we don't want to swallow that pill. But
Yeah.
when you start reframing things, example, what I gave just a moment ago, where let's say something changes in your life and there, some fear, or let's say you have three jobs and one goes away, and now you look at it and you're like, what am I going to do now? How am I going to make up that income? All valid thoughts. But
Right.
for me, back in the day, I would do just what I described. Like, oh my gosh, what am I? Even if even if there was no evidence of that happening, I would still think it. Well, what if? I mean,
Right.
now if something transpires, I look at it as an opportunity. And it's not putting rose-colored glasses on. It's really looking at the opportunity. Like, all right, well, that let's say hypothetically, well, that job went away, one of three, that one went away. I have now time to focus on something else that
Mm-hmm.
is probably going to be better because,
Right.
a lot of times we hold on to things that really don't support us that well. Um, and I look at the opportunity, and also you have to look at, a situation that took place, usually out of your control. You can't do anything about it anyway, so why are you even worrying about it?
Right.
But it's not easy to get to that point where you reframe the way you think about things.
It's not easy. And it's been a lot of work for me to
Mm,
be grateful in every situation.
mm,
So, and I really liked what you said that if now I have more time to do something else. Well, also think about maybe that particular job that you had lost, maybe that wasn't moving you in the right direction. Maybe that wasn't supporting you in a way that was good for you. Maybe you were being redirected in a better direction.
mm.
Maybe it was really good for you to lose that job because you can't get a new one or a different one or move in a different direction until one of those is gone or done, right?
Yeah.
And maybe it's an opportunity for you to rearrange your priorities and maybe see that I have a lot of abundance. Maybe I don't need to be doing that, or maybe I don't need all the things that I need. I have exactly what I need without that. It's an opportunity to look at things in a different way,
Yeah.
to learn something new.
When you start taking the time to look and just observe, then the pieces come together. Even,
Mhm.
people are in your life for a season and a reason. All right. Yeah.
Right.
It's a great quote, cliche, whatever it is. And 3 years ago, went through something. And a year after, 2 years after, I realized what was going on there. Lasered down, long story short, I was going through radiation for skin cancer on my face. And it's all healed
Mhm.
up, it's all good. Tough time, 30 days of, treatment and all of
Yeah.
that. It looked like my face was peeling off my body. Um, and I was involved with somebody at the time, and we supported each other in other ways. And it was a short-term kind of thing. But she saw me and she said, "Oh my God, look at your face. Let me help with that." Blah, 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 blah. And she helped me through it. And then years later, I realized that season or reason, she's a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
She was there for a reason. That wasn't
Yeah.
just
Isn't
a,
that amazing?
and there's other things attached to that scenario. Me, it's such life situation where it really wasn't easy going through that at that time, but she was there.
Right.
And that was the reason. There's no, I complete, that is it.
Yeah.
It was it. There's no denying it, is what I'm saying there. Yeah. It's
The
amazing.
universe supported you and
Yes,
gave you exactly what you needed in that moment. And when
absolutely.
you recognize that and when you're grateful for that, you're going to receive more of that.
Well, that's a whole other podcast now, isn't
Right.
it? You can help people understand what's going on through many different modalities, hypnotherapy, certainly massage. That's obviously needs to be done in person, but
Right.
also even virtually helping somebody with Reiki, because we got stuck energy.
Absolutely.
You can't move forward as well. Kathy, what's the best way to contact you? How do we do that?
The best way to reach me is to visit my website, and it's restore mind and body 7, the number 7.com. And on that website, you can read about all the modalities that I do. A lot of them outside of the body work and massage can be done over Zoom, and people can contact me through there. It'd be
Beautiful.
yeah, great to hear from you.
I believe I've asked you this before. I don't know if it was on a podcast or before or after, but and I have to ask it. There's a reason personally. The number 7 within your website. Why?
It has a lot of different meanings on a lot of different levels for me. It's shown up a lot in my life. It's in my birth date. I have multiple sevens in my birth date.
Gotcha.
And it just felt right. When I was looking for what I wanted to have for a name for my website, and I just decided I'm going to put in the number 7. So I think it was something that it has a deeper meaning to me, and I'm not sure that I can recall
gotcha.
all of it, but it just felt really good for me.
Totally understand. And then I asked because in the last year or so, the number 7 has presented itself to me, and not just lucky number 7, but there's other things connected to it. And it was also showing up because I needed to pay attention to something. And and very close. So I got you. Just kind of curious. I know there was a reason.
There is always a reason. Yeah.
You know what?
Whether we consciously recognize it or not,
there's always a reason.
Always a reason. Yeah.
Fantastic talking with you today. Thank you for all your insight, validation, making this easy to understand. And maybe we'll talk about being grateful next time. Who knows? Whatever the universe says we're going to talk about, that shall be
exactly.
Yep.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Steve.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.